Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's August 6th, 2021. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. I know of a couple landings. We will then go to our 30-second introductions. We'll have everybody put their contact information into the chat window. Then go to our committee reports. We'll hear about job and workshops that are happening, pit crew, hear from the interview success workshop, and then we'll hear the career tip of the week. And then we'll have our main event, which happens today to be open forum. For those people, if you're using if you don't have your full name in the is showing up in the participant box, we ask that you click on the participant box, hover over the little camera microphone where you see a blue arrow, and then you should be able to rename yourself if your full name is not in there. It's just good practice. And if you can, click that little box underneath it that says, remember my name for future meetings. That'll make things for future meetings. We'll all be able to get your first and last name. If you have questions throughout the presentation, you're welcome to use the chat box. For those putting in your 30-second introductions, we'll use the chat box. For those watching on Facebook right now, please just put your information into the comment field. I am monitoring that feed. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, and if you have your microphone or camera on, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the comment field in the Zoom chat window do not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. The group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the gentleman who was running it at the time got a job and said, who wants to take over? And I think I scratched my face and said, okay, Jeff, you're it. So I've been doing that since 2007. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area put everything you need to know about your job search in one place. In 2012, I launched a second website, careerusa.org, to help people outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. You'll hear more about that in just a couple of minutes. Why? Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news. I know of a couple landings. So the first landing I know about, and I don't see him on the call today, is Offray Bell. He just wanted to let us know he landed a job this past Friday. His former employer, after being laid off for 8 months, offered me a position as an advisor for solution architects for DXC Technologies. And his start date is in 2 weeks. I want to thank you and the Career USA team for all the support and assistance you provided. It really helped us out a lot. I had not needed to look for a job in over 30 years and had no clue where to start or where or how to start. So it's sort of common, you know, people have been working for a long time, they don't know. So get somebody like that under your wings and try to offer them. Offray is number 75. And our next landing, Jeff, I think you're on the call. Unmute your mic and tell us your story.
Good morning, Jeff Miller. After a 35-year career in IT, I am pivoting to teaching in the Birdville School District. Birdville School District is in Tarrant County, just a little bit west and south of Grapevine, Colleyville area. I'm going to be a teacher's aide for special needs elementary students. My first day is Monday, August the 9th. Key things for me that I'm very thankful for associating with this group are informational interviews, because after a 35-year career in IT, I knew absolutely nothing about teaching, so I asked lots of questions. The nice thing about teaching is I started off as a substitute teacher and asked my fellow substitutes as well as other teachers questions about teaching, and as well as other aides. I asked them questions, especially when it got to the interview portion, because in IT, most interviews are technical, and this was anything but technical. So looking forward to starting my new career here come Monday. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much. You're our 76th landing for the year. So we've made it through let's see, for 8 months. So 8 months, we've had 76 landings. We've got the best 4 months coming up here, August through the end of the year. So fourth quarter should be really, really good here, the last third of the year. Also on Facebook, Pamela Gargas says, I've been placed by Right Staff, and Shelley Ameson is looking to for some candidates to fill some positions. So I will put that email, I'll copy that information and put it in the email that I put out this afternoon. So if anybody's looking, you can check rightstaffinc.com and we will get I'll put that information in for everybody else to share.
Yes, and I'm Tara Camp, and I'm kind of representing Shelley today. I'm a senior technical recruiter with her, so I can leave my information as well.
Okay, if you will, Tara, please put it in the chat window, and that way we'll make sure that everybody can.
All my information
this afternoon. Tell us a little bit, what kind of positions do you have available right now?
Right now we've got. Let me get to that. Sorry. We have mortgage positions. We've got underwriter positions. We do executive assistants. We do administrative assistants. We do sales, IT. We've got some developer positions right now. We do a little bit of everything. And a lot of our positions are remote. Some are on site. But I'd be happy to discuss with anyone. If I could I'll just leave my information in the chat box. Is that what you said?
Yes, please put the chat window, and I'll make sure I'll copy it and put it in the email I put out this afternoon to everybody.
And it's just a good group of, we've got about 8 recruiters that we all focus on a little bit of everything. Tight-knit group, but we use a lot of networking to get good candidates, like groups like this and things like that. So it's another method to, help your job search.
So Tara, let me ask you one more question. What do you see as happening for fourth quarter here?
Any predictions
for?
Prediction wise, it's looking good on the job front. I mean, as far as a lot of things opening up, it looks like a lot more things are remote than there used to be, or remote at least to start. But companies are, being a little more flexible about who they bring in and what they're looking for. It's not as strict as it used to be, I don't think. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know.
All right. Well, Tara, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today. And
thank you. I'll leave my information, and anybody is more than welcome to contact me or a company for any of their needs.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us. Do we have any other landings? Anybody else who landed out there who's got a story to share?
Jeff, this is Miguel Castillo. I have an announcement here. I've been in the FP&A space and in airlines for the last 25 years. With the pandemic, working last at American Airlines, I was affected, and so I've been joining many of the groups, including yours. And so I have landed a position. I'm going to be the director of finance for Amazon Air. And this will be a position that is based in Seattle, in Bellevue, actually. So, I want to thank you, Jeff, and Walt, and Mark McDonald. I've been part of the pit crew, helping out, other people in their mock-up interviews. And it's just a great network that you all help provide. And, want to thank every one of you. Very excited about the opportunity, and it will still be, even though it's Amazon, which is a great company, but it will be still in the aviation kind of side, right? Supporting Amazon Air. Good thing is, just Amazon announced, I think a day or two ago, that they're not going to go back to their offices until January 3rd of 2021 with the pandemic and the Delta variant. And so I think at least for the next 6 months or so, I'll still be working remote here from Dallas.
Well, congratulations. How did you hear about the job?
So mine is probably one of those exceptions that it's, even though I did a lot of networking, it actually came through, some of their executive recruiters contacted me, and they contacted me long ago before I even was affected. And so, I had never really, being working in my network, I did have a profile in LinkedIn. That's how they contacted me, but I had never even responded. They contacted me for a couple of years. And so I did, reply back to them. And this was back in October. They didn't have anything at the time. So I continued my journey, ups and downs and, roller coaster of emotions and, and opportunities. Probably a couple of months ago, 2.5 months ago, I contacted another executive recruiter from Amazon had contacted me. I think they contacted me 3 years in a row, but the first year was a lady and the next 2 was a gentleman. And so I had contacted the gentleman back in October, and I thought there was not a fit, or they didn't want me. The truth is that they didn't have positions at the time. And based a lot of comments from people in many of these groups, I was like, well, I don't lose anything by contacting the first person. Maybe she's still there. And that's what started all, everything. Had to go through, tons of interviewing, all of it online, but survived the loop from Amazon and got the offer. So I'm very excited.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for sharing the news, and good luck. And I guess we'll miss you. Maybe we never see you again.
Yeah, well, we don't know. I'll still, just for Mark, I'll still be part of the pit crew. So, count me in.
Okay, well, very good. Congratulations.
Well, Miguel, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Walt.
Did you memorize the 14 leadership principles?
I memorize them at least for the interviews. I can tell you probably most of them right now, but not all of them and not in order.
Okay.
But yes, definitely. That was one of the things. And it's, they have a very long and structured process. But it was definitely all the, again, I myself, even though I'm part of the pit crew as a panelist, I interviewed a couple of times, practice with Mark and team. So, very helpful. And star stories, essential for this and many other jobs. The interviewing process is just essential. It's key.
Well, great, Miguel. Thank you very, very much.
So thank you, everyone, again.
Wonderful. Any other landings? More good news to share? All right, well, let's move on here. All right, what we'd like for everybody to do now, if you will, open up the chat window or open up the comment field on Facebook, and in the chat box, please put your name, comma, phone, comma, your email address, comma, the position you're looking for, comma, and a couple target companies, and then hit the return key. I will copy all that information out and I will put it out in our email this afternoon, and see if you can try to help somebody to take a look at it this evening or this weekend, and see if there's somebody on that contact list, a company, maybe you can help them out. Try to help one person every day if you can. So I will give you a little time to put that in the chat window right now. And if anybody puts their information in on Facebook, I will go and delete your personal information from the chat window as soon as this meeting is over. All right, it's time to hear about job, career fairs, training workshops that are happening. Good morning, Eldon.
Good morning, Jeff, and good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. As Jeff said, I'm Eldon Zarinsky, and I'm here to provide you information about career and job fairs and special workshops or events. The information that I'm about to cover comes from the calendar page of the website careerdfw.org, which is on your screen right now. There are many tabs on the calendar because it's broken up by subject matter into about 6 or 8 or 10 different subjects. And I focus again on career and job fairs and special workshops or events. I do go through the material fairly quickly, so if you hear something that you're interested in, I urge you to go to the calendar, click on the tab, find the item, and then you will find information, usually links about the provide more information about the event and or to allow you to register for it. All right, having said that, this week's career and job fairs. The United Electronic Recycling event will be held Saturday, August 7th from 9 a.m. to noon at First United Methodist Church at 3160 East Spring Creek Parkway in Plano, Texas. We have a job and training fair that'll be held at the East Library and Recreation Center at 1817 New York Avenue in Arlington, Saturday, August 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The 2021 Alliance Texas Virtual Job Fair will be held Wednesday, August 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there is a link to find out more information about that and to register for the event. The Fairview Town Center Job Fair will be held at 183 Town Place in Fairview, Texas on Thursday, August 12th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And finally, there will be another United Electronic Recycling event, this time at St. Andrew's United Methodist Church at 5801 West Plano Parkway in Plano. And that will be held Saturday, August 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This week's special workshops or events, online LinkedIn Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Join Locke Alderson, Terry Sullivan, Ruth Lipsky, or Kurt Vondemutter each week for an online session on LinkedIn and how to use it. Again, that's Tuesday, August 10th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. There's a Zoom link on the calendar and also a Facebook link for your convenience. There will be an employability with a background workshop at Opening Doors for Women in Need at 3600 Horn Street in Fort Worth on Tuesday, August 10th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. There is a link on Facebook to visit to find out more about that. Advanced registration is required by visiting Opening Doors prior to the seminar date, and these seminars are for both men and women. Also online, the Who You Know Career Transition Summit will be held Wednesday, August 11th from 10 a.m. to noon, and there is a registration link for that. This is hosted by Foster Williams, and if you don't know Foster Williams, I urge you to get to know Foster Williams. He's one of our area's well-known local recruiters. Also online, Interviewing Wednesdays at 1 p.m. This workshop is presented by Mark McDonald, who's the leader of our pit crew, and Walt Glass, who leads our interview success workshop. This week's session is session 2, preparing for a specific interview, limited time interviews, and networking. And this is part 1 of that sequence. Again, that's August 11th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. This looks to be a 10-part session. Which I guess they'll tell you, Mark will tell you a little bit more about it when he gets up. And there's a Zoom link and a Facebook link there for you to participate. Finally, online networking webinar will be held Thursday, August 12th from 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. Join Career DFW and CareerUSA.org on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 2:15 for our networking seminar. And we'll have a different speaker each session talking about networking. And there's a Zoom link and a Facebook link to participate in that as well. And that's it for this week.
Eldon, thank you very, very much. All right. If you know somebody who just lost their job, I know there were new job numbers just came out on 368,000 or something like that, newly unemployed people. So if you know somebody who's newly unemployed, somebody who needs help, somebody in their job search who doesn't really know what to do, tell them about Career DFW, tell them about CareerUSA.org and about the free resources we have. If you know somebody who just lost their job and they're not sure what to do, right there on the very front page, they can click there for help. And we've got a great one-page article that takes you to some other links on things that you can do, handouts and things to be prepared for your job search. All right, it's time to hear from the Dallas Pit Crew. Good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, everyone, and congratulations to Miguel. Landing a job at Amazon is an arduous process. They make you work for it, and so congratulations again, Miguel. So I'm Mark McDonald. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat window. I encourage you to link in with me. And my claim to fame with respect to practice interviews is I was laid off 3 times towards the end of my career, 3 times in 10 years. And so I bring with me a lot of confidence that you will land because, you know, when I got laid off and all the people got laid off with me, we all found jobs, and most of those layoffs occurred during tough economic times. It wasn't a pandemic, but it was a big recession. And so that's a little bit about my background. You can find more on LinkedIn. And if you don't have the chat, then just search on Pit Crew, or you can search on Mark A. McDonald in LinkedIn and you'll find me. So the Pit Crew, I got started in 2013, and then in 2014, I started leading the Pit Crew. So we've been around for quite some time. We offer practice interviews, and they're very focused and specific to your situation. And our motto is practice early, practice often, because you probably have spent a lot of time working on your resume and working on your LinkedIn profile, but not much time practicing. And it is something you need to practice. You get better at it, even if you practice for a position that you're not engaged in. So that's one of the things we allow. You can just find a job description that looks good to you, your dream job, so to speak, and send that in and get a practice session under your belt. So when you get called on Monday and they want to have an interview with you on Tuesday, you've already practiced. Now, the way that works is you submit a job description and your resume. I have a group of volunteers who have all been hiring managers as part of their professional responsibility and have also all been through job transition. As a matter of fact, most of them are currently in job transition, and they volunteer their time and skills and expertise to give you feedback on your interview. So that's how it becomes very customized and personalized to you, your background, your job description, and then my team of professionals. And so the interviews take about an hour and 15 minutes total, the meetings. We do them on Zoom. You get a recording, and all of this is absolutely free. So that's how the Pit Crew works. When you're ready to practice, send your information to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. That's all one word, dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. It's there on the screen. And we'll go to work setting up your practice interview, which can be any day of the week. So include in your email when you're available or when you prefer to practice +2 days or +3 days in advance. Most of the time, we can get them set up in 2 days, but sometimes it takes 3. And so that's how that works. Now, besides, there's my LinkedIn profile. Besides the two-way interview that I just talked about, the Pit Crew also has a one-way interview offering, and the same approach is just send your request to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. We use a professional tool for this that Jeff has arranged for us to use. It's called Easy Hire. And the Pit Crew offering of one-way interviews is just a chance to give you to interact with the tool, because it's very awkward talking to the computer when you know nobody's on the other end. There'll be 4 questions that I'll give you in advance, and then I'll give you a link, and then you engage the tool. And when you're done, the tool automatically sends you a link of your recording, which, and no one will see that except for you. Or if you choose to share the link with them, then other people can look at it and give you feedback. But feedback's not part of the Pit Crew offering. It's really just to give you a chance to practice engaging the tool. I do one more thing I want to mention before I go into the, Jeff's having trouble keeping up with me there. I want to let you know that I also coach, but I just coach on one topic, and that is why you left your last position. But it may not be your last one. It may have been some previous positions. A lot of interviewers will be curious about why you left your previous position and the ones before that as well. And if that's going to cause some angst or anxiousness, if you think you're not going to be able to handle that with brevity and confidence, then let's have a conversation and we'll storyboard how to answer that question for your specific situation, and also how to answer any follow-up questions that may be generated. And right now I'm coaching someone from Ohio in this regard about how to answer the question why they leave their last job. They worked for 28 years and then got laid off due to some corporate restructuring. And so it's been a struggle for them how to answer that question. And so that's the kind of thing I do. I help you with a very one-on-one personal coaching for your situation. And then let's see, what's next? Interview Wednesday. Okay, so next week is preparing for a specific interview and also preparing if you have limited time, and then a little bit about networking. And so that's session number 2. last week was preparing to interview in general. The way the whole 13 sessions are organized is there's 5 sessions on preparing to interview, there's 5 sessions on effective interviewing, and then there's 3 special topics. So right now, we are hoping and planning that after 10 sessions, we will start meeting face-to-face. So what you'll see on the schedule is the first 10 sessions. And, if we end up being delayed by COVID, then we'll do those last 3 and then start the cycle over. So that's what's going on with the Interview Wednesday webinar session that Walt and I present.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good morning, Walt.
Well, good morning. So I also like to help people with their interviewing skills. And so I offer the free interview success workshop. I highly recommend that you take advantage of the pit crew as part of your practicing and getting your skills and confidence. But the workshop is different than the pit crew, because the pit crew is a mock panel interview, excellent practice environment. I offer one that's not so formal. In fact, it's very informal. There's no need to have to sit there in a hot seat and squirm and have anxiety and concerns and fears while we're just trying to improve ourselves. We're just trying to get better. So what we do is I usually have it on Tuesdays from 10 to 12, but since Mark says practice early, practice often, next week it's going to be at 8 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. That way, I think we'll have that practice early right on target, Mark. Anyway, you need to be registered to attend. Look me up on LinkedIn on my About section. It details the information about the workshop. You have to be registered to attend. Send me an email to that Yahoo email address, and I'll give you some availability, and we'll get you scheduled. Why not have some enjoyment and a little bit of fun while we're going through this job search? And so it's not all just a grind. It's not all just hard to do. It's not all just something that you have to get up every morning and face with a negative attitude. No, let's get positive about things. So come on down and join. I'd love to have you come, because in our practice, we have learning without squirming. I suggest you practice interviewing. You can get the job you are pursuing. Take the workshop and the crew at Pitt. Take Nike's advice. Just do it.
Thank you very much, Walt. All right, it's time to hear from the career tip of the week. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Jeff, and good morning, everyone. The tip of the week is entitled "Hiring is a Dating Process." The author is Kurt Von DeMater, and you will recall that Kurt was our guest speaker last week on the topic of how the job search has changed. So this is a very good article with the clear and relevant points for you. So let's get started. While many people think of the hiring process as something that is rigid and formulaic, it's actually a lot more dynamic. The hiring process is more like a courtship. It's very similar to dating, as the two parties should be getting to know each other and communicating openly. Let's look at how the hiring process mirrors the dating process and how to better build professional relationships that lead to success for both the candidate and the recruiter. Number 1, first become acquainted. In order to first become acquainted, it's important for the candidate and hiring manager to both ask plenty of questions. The number 1 objective of the hiring manager is to learn about the candidate and have they accomplished the goals and objectives identified for this role, using past performance and experience as the benchmark, not that you like the person. The hiring manager knows the hiring manager knows what needs to be accomplished, and their questions should be behavioral questions, asking about similar situations to what the company is dealing with today. This helps to make sure there is an alignment with the capabilities of the candidate and that they have had past success in achieving these desired goals. The candidate often takes a passive backseat and just answers the questions they are asked. From a dating perspective, it's important for a candidate to ask the hard questions to make sure the other person, in this case, the company, is the right fit and whether or not they are a good fit for the organization. Candidates that don't ask the tougher questions have a high chance of turnover since they haven't gotten to know the company before taking the job. They need to better understand the challenges of the department they are entering and what their role would look like. Even if it's a well-known company, there are still plenty of questions to be asked, specifically about the culture of the organization, what keeps them up at night, what are the biggest challenges of the company needs to solve in the next 6 months. The candidate is making a big decision and must make sure there is an alignment. Number 2, kick off the relationship. Any company is going to interview a number of candidates. That helps with the dating process. They get to play the field a bit before settling down, looking for the right attributes in the candidate. The same goes for the candidate. They are able to interview with multiple companies to find a company that is the right fit for them. When a hiring manager interviews different people, they get to see the differences between the candidates that are out there and their ability to succeed. That's when their instincts kick in and it becomes obvious that one candidate is the right fit. Candidates are in the same boat. As they date around with different companies, they'll want to make sure they find a company that they can relate to and have a long, healthy relationship with. The dating process is a huge investment in time and energy. That's why it's so important for the hiring manager and candidate to ask the right questions and interview around to make sure it's a good fit before starting a relationship. Once a good match is made, the relationship can begin. Number 3, extending the offer the right way. The best way to extend an offer is first with a verbal offer. Generally, this is contingent on a background check and/or checking references. This verbal offer allows the candidate to give more details on the actual position title, salary, bonuses, etc. Once the candidate accepts, the offer can be forwarded to the candidate in writing. From there, the company should do their background check, check references, and do any other due diligence required. Number 4, maintain communication. Many candidates will be making major changes when it comes to accepting an offer with a new company. There is a lot of anxiety about how well they will do in their new role and if they will be a good fit. Anything a hiring manager can do to relieve that anxiety can help the candidate to better fit into their new role. Once the offer is made, the onboarding process needs to start. Too many companies take the hiring process for granted. They back off and don't communicate with the candidate. That generates a lot of questions from the candidate. It's important for a hiring manager to maintain good communication with the candidate, to answer their questions, and to keep them excited about the position. A little extra communication helps to reaffirm that the candidate made the right decision. Whether you are a job seeker looking for a position at a company that respects your talent, or you are a business looking for the best talent available, make sure to speak with a search firm that is able to meet and exceed your needs. The right firm will help you to meet the right company or candidate and start the dating process. And if you would like to revisit this article, you can find it on the website. Have a good day, everyone.
Kelly, thank you very, very much. And you can find that on the Career DFW or careerusa.org website. Just click on Tip of the Week. Coming up here in just a couple seconds, we'll start open forum. We'll have answer whatever questions you have about your job search. It'll just be an open mic. Just open your mic and you'll be able to ask questions here in just a second. I do want to tell you about some upcoming, what we have coming up the next couple of weeks. Next Friday, how to use reference solutions to find target companies. If you don't have a list of target companies, if you're not sure where you should focus on, Mike, Ray, Kip Lipson will be with us to talk about reference solutions that used to be called Reference USA on how to use that. If you do not have a public library card, I recommend over the next week you go get one, because after you do this, after you see the presentation, you're going to want to get online and check out these databases because it's really, really fascinating. In 2 weeks, our speakers will talk about personal branding. And then the end of the month, how to translate the art of transitioning. So those are the upcoming titles that we have the next few weeks. Just a reminder, Career DFW and the North Dallas Career Focus Group two different organizations. CareerDFW.org is a website I started back in 2008, and it's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. The North Dallas Career Focus Group are a bunch of people who used to get together on Friday mornings. Now we do it on Zoom. They're two separate organizations. The only common thread is that I happen to lead both. You're welcome to overthrow me here and take over the North Dallas group anytime you'd like, but you're not going to get Career DFW and Career USA out of my hands. Just to let you know about that. So this is not the Friday group of Career DFW. Okay, it's time for our main event. We're going to do open forum. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. If you have a question about your job search, let's hear it. Unmute your mic and ask away. Who's got a question?
Well, I'll start off, break the ice for you guys.
Okay, thank you, Dion.
Morning. First of all, this group is awesome. Just found it last week. Wish I'd have known that in the start of my transition about 4 months ago, but not going to cry over that one. I've been learning ever since. So my question is state jobs versus federal or government jobs. I guess the benefits and how do you, I guess, apply for those state jobs?
Good question. I don't know. We've never had that. That question's never popped up before. Anybody have any comments about filing for state jobs? I'm not even sure, does the state even have a website with all the state jobs that are open? I don't even know. I know for federal government jobs, you go to usajobs.gov, but I'm not sure about state ones.
I would wonder if you can find the state jobs on the TWC site.
And I would think that probably, once again, networking would be the way to go, because if there's a certain department you're looking to get into, or a certain, I would maybe even reach out to your local state or your state Senate or congressperson, and ask them and say, I'm interested in working for state government, how can you help me? Because that's what they're there to do. I mean, the Congress, your state and House representatives, Senate and House representatives are there to help you. Reach out to them, look up on the website, find your representative and shoot them an email, because if you can't find a job, I think they'd be able to point you in the right direction.
Okay, appreciate that. And it came up because I was talking to the Texas Veterans Commission yesterday, and they brought up state jobs, and I was like, I wouldn't even know where to ask. So that's why I brought it up today.
Well, I would also reach out to the TVC, because I mean, they are really good about, they'll know that information because they're on the inside. So that would be a great asset to, be sure to reach out to them and find out. You do know, and I'll just sort of, a side note here, when you fill out a job application for the US government, they want to know everything. So when we talk about resumes, we talk about, down to 2-page resumes, really as much as you should do, maybe 3. The US government wants to know everything. So when you fill out an application with the government, they want that 10-page resume or whatever you've got. They want to know all the details, all the jobs you've ever had. So that's a good reason why, if you have a master resume, it makes applying for a job very easy, because you already have all the details.
Awesome. Thanks for the answers.
Jeff and Mark, go back in time. We're in the pit crew. There was a woman there whose background was like in policing and teaching policing and international. She went to work in Virginia. And she said, anybody that needs to apply to a government job should contact me. I'll help you through that process. What was her name?
I can picture her. I can see her standing right there.
Yeah. I might could go through your list of all the names of everybody that you provide on your Excel spreadsheet, and when I see it, I recognize it. But yeah, that's who I thought of immediately.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I got the list here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may take a few minutes.
Yeah, it's been 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more like 3 now, 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that.
All right, well, Mark, when you find it, let us know. We'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Any questions somebody else has?
One, does anybody know what a predictive index is? Apparently I have to take one for a recruiter, and I was caught off guard by a CalPERS thing I had to take a couple months ago. I thought it was just a personality test, and it ended up being a logic test. So I kind of want to have an idea of what I'm getting into before I click start.
And it's called a predictive index.
That's what he said. I'm sending you a predictive index to take. I've never heard of that before. And I've taken probably every assessment that there is out there.
Anybody have any comments on that? I don't know.
I actually, this is Brian. I actually took one a few weeks ago for a construction company that I just came across at that North Texas. Oh God, what was it? That hiring thing that Beth Van Dyne put on. But the one I took was only 2 pages. It was the same exact words, and on one, it was not, in my opinion, very scientific because it took about 6 minutes. And on one page, you said how you are at work, and you picked all the words that applied. And then on the other page, you yourself picked all the words that applied as far as what your employees or peers would think of you at work. And then it basically built a profile of you and predicted what your strengths were. And then the COO basically sat with me and said, well, this means you're very strategic and all these other things that I already knew. So that's what it was for me. But I also had one that dropped one on me, and they said it was like a personality thing, and it was a logic exam and not an entry-level logic exam.
The logic exam I took wasn't entry level either. So that's what I was, but thank you to you, and thank you to the ones that are putting the information in the chat box. I'll copy it over. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, what else can we answer for somebody? Anyone else? Come on, meeting will be over really quickly here. Had a good question yesterday. Somebody sent me a question about ATS systems and about, does the recruiter look at the resume that you attach? And it was a multiple questions. First question was your summary statement or your achievements section. When the ATS system sucks in your resume, it doesn't seem to put that anywhere. It only puts the jobs and the dates and stuff. And I responded that, there's over 100 different ATS systems, and most systems don't have a space for that. And they're just trying to take you're trying to take your resume and populate the correct fields, which, you got a 50 to 70% chance of that happening correctly. So, that was the first part. And the second part of her question was, what does the recruiter actually see? Does the recruiter actually see the resume that you attach, or are they only looking at the data that gets imported in? My answer to her was, the ATS system, the data that gets sucked into the system is the keywords. Those are the words that you're going to be found. So that's why you want to make sure that if you put keywords into a summary or an achievement statement at the very top, you've got to make sure those keywords are also in your bullet points of each job, because that's where the ATS system is going to find you and pull you up. Now, remember, there's over 100 different ATS systems. Everyone operates a little bit differently, so there's no hard and fast rules here. What does a recruiter actually look at? I remember being at Frisco Connect a couple of years ago, and there was a recruiter there, or he was the head of HR, and he says, I only look at the attached resume that you have uploaded. I don't look at what the ATS goes and tells me, here are your top 10 candidates or top 20 candidates, but I look at the attached resume. So, but then I've also heard from another recruiter, oh no, I only look at what's in the ATS system. I don't look at the attached resume. So, I think most recruiters do look at the attachment. I think that's the standard because it's just so easy nowadays and the systems have become much better. But, just sort of know that, keywords, the ATS, they'll rate you, and then the top candidates will probably be looked at by looking at your PDF or your Word document that you attach into the ATS system.
So I had an interesting experience with an ATS system last week that I'll share quickly. I filled out an application for an organization that I'm interested in through their website. I had been contacted by a contract recruiter, quite a while ago about this company. And so I sent it in through the ATS system last Thursday evening. And last Friday morning, right before this program, I got an email from the recruiter that said, thank you for, applying, but your background doesn't fit our qualifications. And I was like, because I matched like 99.7% of what you just said you wanted. And so I emailed the recruiter back and I said, hi, thank you very much. While I'm very disappointed that I won't have the opportunity to share my marketing senior living experience with you, I appreciate that you took the time to let me know. Thank you very much. Kind regards, Deborah Baker. And within maybe 3 minutes, I got an email from the recruiter that said, oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies. That was a mistake. When can I interview you? And we had the interview yesterday. And, now I'm taking a predictive index. So just FYI, always send that email back.
Yeah, Deborah, I've heard that story more than once. I mean, that happens quite often where, you'll get that generic, you get the reject letter from the ATS system, and then within an hour or 2 hours, whatever, they call you up because they want to interview, or the next day they call you up. So don't, I think what you did was great by responding to the recruiter immediately. And, you just, listen, recruiters don't like the ATS systems either. It's just, this is what they have to work with. This is what they have to work with. Mark, thank you very much. Lynn Holland is the name of the woman that Walt was thinking of, willing to help people with U.S. government jobs. In the chat window, he put her LinkedIn profile, Lynn Holland, Lynn-Holland on LinkedIn is who it is. So, yeah, reach out to her. She's a really great connection. Let her know you're part of the North Dallas group, and she'll be glad. She will do what she can to help you. Very, very helpful. What else can we answer for somebody? Questions. Come on, Walt. I saw you unmute your mic for a second.
Hey, Jeff,
right.
it's Kelly. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Kelly.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Just to share, and I forgot already the name. It used to be Reference USA. You were talking about the speaker for next week. We'll be talking about how that's a great database in order to research target companies. And you advocated that people get a library card in order to access that. So I'm all about the resources, and I think I've shared this tip before, but in case there are any new members who aren't aware, another reason why you might want to take advantage of your local public library is many of them offer LinkedIn Learning for free at no charge as part of your membership in the library. So for example, I reside in Plano, and I love that my tax dollars go for this, that just via a library card, I can have access to LinkedIn Learning. And to connect the dots there, as far as the benefit is, a lot of people might be paying for LinkedIn Premium in order to access LinkedIn Learning, which is part of the added value there and how they try to get you to pay that $30 a month. But here, just FYI, you can get it through your local public library. Now, as a tip, how this might play out depending on where you reside, some public libraries might not offer this. For example, I'm not sure if Dallas Public Library System does offer LinkedIn Learning or not, but one of the things that I've found is sometimes a library will share their resources with another city, another surrounding city. So for example, I have a colleague who lives in Richardson, Richardson doesn't offer the free LinkedIn Learning, but there's kind of like a reciprocal relationship between Plano and Richardson. So he was able to get a Plano Public Library card and now has access to all of the free Plano Public Library resources. So, kind of expand your search. Don't just stop of, oh, they don't offer it. There might be an alternate way to receive a surrounding city library card in order to access the information. So there's a lot of good information there. So I hope someone might find that helpful and maybe save you $30 a month if you need to learn a new skill or sharpen the saw, as they say. The second thing that I just want to add, and Jeff, maybe you're aware of this gentleman. He's amazing. I'm going to bring it up. Randy Mayu. It's Mayeux. He does the First Friday book synopsis. Are you familiar with Randy?
I am. I've actually, back when we could meet in person, I was actually going to those Friday mornings before this meeting. I'd run down there to the meeting as they had a breakfast club. Now they're doing them online, and it's great because it's free online. So
absolutely, they are. And I was trying to find, I'm on his email distribution list, and I actually participated in the session that took place prior to our Friday session. It starts at 7:30, goes to about 9 o'clock. And Randy is just such an amazing individual and presenter, and that he picks 2 business books and provides a synopsis on those for those of you who might not be aware of Randy. And he has done, like you, a great job of taking that content, putting it online via Zoom, and making it available for free for people. So there is no cost to it. You can contribute if you like, but it's a great group. The information that he covers is really relevant. And I think in our job search, one of the questions we're asked is, how do you stay relevant? How do you keep current? So these business books really give you something to talk about or relate to. I was trying to look for an active link that would send people directly to his website. He mentioned he has one, but every link that was embedded in his email is coming back in error, but I'm having some computer problems this morning. So I'll take that as an action item to kind of follow up with you, and maybe if I can find a good link that we can distribute to people. But it might be a great way just to, feed your curiosity, learn about new business books or topics that are going on, so you can speak to that. So just a great resource for everybody.
yeah, it's the first Friday of every month. And I think if you just Google First Friday Book Club or First Friday, just First Friday Book Club, I think you'll probably find it. I will, next time I see when they do it for the month of August, September, I will make sure I get it up on the Career DFW calendar. I'll go ahead and add the event on a monthly basis, so you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
And when I get the email, I will forward it out to the North Dallas group so that everybody can find out about it, because they're great business books. It's short. I mean, he spends 15-20 minutes on each book. Very interesting. So Kelly, yeah, thank you for that information.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Also, LinkedIn Learning is also called lynda.com. I think on the Dallas Public Library does offer lynda.com. They don't call it LinkedIn Learning, but it's the exact same thing. So lynda.com, LinkedIn bought lynda.com several years ago for a whole bunch of money. Lynda made a killing on in the market. So yeah, get your public library card, because there's also, and if you don't have Reference Solutions, some cities offer another database called A to Z, and that was built by the exact same people who wrote Reference Solutions, who wrote Reference USA, and they moved on to start a second database. So we'll talk all about that next Friday. Okay, what else can we answer for somebody?
Recently, I filled out just a talent application with Southwest Airlines. And when you do that, it gives you an option of connecting with their contract pool. And I haven't done that second step yet, but it was Hyrogenics. And I had an informational interview with a woman who works at Southwest Airlines, who started her career there through a contract opportunity. And I was wondering if anybody knew of Hyrogenics, had any experience with them. I think it's Hyrogenics. Okay.
Anyone? I guess not.
And I have a second question. When we talk about bridge jobs, or I am starting to look at bridge jobs, contract jobs, is the process for applying for FEMA for contract work the same and as extensively detailed as applying for full-time government jobs? Does anybody know? Because they're looking for temporary people.
I think if it's a government job, the government doesn't do anything quickly and easily.
Thank you.
Unless it's going through a contractor and, it's a third-party contract where the contractor has to go find 50 people and, their process may be less than government, but they've had to go through the process of filling out tons and tons of paperwork. So I would bet that in most cases, it's not going to be simple.
Okay, Jeff, this is Lily Kudur. As far as I know, it's no longer lynda.com. They've changed it again to LinkedIn Learning for Library.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, just
I
in case.
haven't been on the Dallas Public Library website in a while, so.
If you live in Frisco, the library there also has the Data Axle reference solutions as well. And I didn't even have to go to the library. I signed up for the library card online, called the reference librarian. She got online and walked me right through how to get to it. It wasn't even 5 minutes. So kind of nice and easy.
Get your public library card. It's beneficial. And you can rent DVDs and you can rent online movies. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do through your public library.
I was blown away by how much free software there is at the public library for you that I've paid for in the past. So
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah. Okay, what else can we answer for somebody?
All right, well, I have another question.
Okay.
All right, in regards to transferring from federal jobs to state jobs, does anybody know how retirement works with that? Is it two separate systems, or do you lose your retirement eligibility from federal and you start over state? Just trying to get some fillers out there to figure out. Or is that a good question for Lynn?
Lynn may have a better answer to that, but I mean, I don't know if she's worked for state, but well, I mean, I know she's worked for city governments. I don't know. I'm not sure about states, but I would imagine that each retirement system is different. It's what my initial guess would be. I mean, teachers have their own, police have their own, firemen have their own. I would think that state's going to be different than federal.
Understood. Appreciate the answer.
Good question to ask, though. Put it on your question list when you start doing information interviews with companies.
Okay, here we go again for Mark and Jeff. As part of the presentation, I think you made, Mark, about the person who went to work for the city of Dallas. And they created their own position. She's like an actuary for the retirement system for the city. Don't remember her name either. I mean, I've got a great memory. It just doesn't last very long.
It's Monet Schumann.
Yeah, Monet Schumann. She might, she works for the city, so she might be able to tell you state stuff, city stuff. It might be help look up Monet, M-A-N-E-E, wasn't it?
M-A-N-E-T. Yeah, I'll find her
Yeah.
profile.
Okay, we'll get that put in the chat window here in just a second. Yep, good. You're remembering more things than I am. Good, Walt.
I can remember some of it, but I can't remember the part that you really need to know.
Yeah, we make a good team. Takes more than one of us.
What else can we answer for somebody? Do you all see it slow right now? Do you think July and August have been slow? Or do you think it's been do you see things that are starting to pick up a little bit?
I'm really disappointed. I was really encouraged in April, the last 2 weeks of April and the beginning of May. I really started to see things open up, and then it is just really not. And that's been my experience. I have 2 silo targets that I'm going after, and and I know everybody's experienced this too, but positions that were posted 6 months ago that are circling back around from what I would consider reputable organizations, right? Reputable firms, and still can't get in, even though they can't fill the position. So they're not changing their criteria of what they're looking for. They're just letting them sit empty.
What are other people saying?
I'm seeing an uptick personally.
You're seeing an uptick right now?
I'm seeing an uptick right now in the last probably 3 weeks. But it's more so from my network, not basic. I've shifted from trying to find a job to finding somebody in an organization that I want to go to work for that can get me in that way. Or it's people reaching out that from my past life, recruiters that I've paid, coming to me saying, hey, I've got an opportunity. I think it's right for you. I've seen that. So that's where I've seen an uptick and a lot more. And like at, because I also go out to South Lake for their focus group on Thursday mornings, and they've got a number of landings too.
Yeah, I think,
So-
Deborah, when you said that you saw the end of April and the first 2 weeks of May being very busy and then it's dropped off from then, think about the end of May, beginning of June, people felt pretty good about going out. And I think everybody who could go someplace, went someplace, took a long weekend, took time off, took a vacation because they could. And now with the increasing COVID numbers, I think everybody is now staying back in, or should be staying back in, or is a little bit more restrictive. And, beside fourth quarter about to hit, I think after Labor Day, things will pick back up, with kids off from school and everything. Anybody who could take a vacation was taking a vacation up until recently. And now with school starting in the past week and next week, I think things
I'm
will
getting a
start to
little nervous because all these companies that said we're coming back to the office in October have now delayed. Google's delayed. I mean, all the big ones, some of the smaller ones. The recruiter I interviewed with yesterday asked me, you want to be open, you want to be hybrid, you want to be remote. And before that, they were going back to, in the office the whole time. So I think people are, I don't know, I wonder, maybe it's a better way to say it. I wonder if people are stepping back and reassessing and waiting a couple of weeks to see how bad it gets here in Texas.
Well, and I think it's happening all over the country. I mean, I have only shared this with a couple of people. I was planning for this group to be able to get back in person starting September 10th. That was going to be my first Friday that we'd be back at the church. I've had discussions with the church. We're booked in the church September through the end of the year. And, they've got us down. So the air conditioning goes on and the heat goes on, whatever. But I told her, I said, I'll call you 2 weeks before and I'll let you know for sure. And right now, we were doing lunches every other week and I've stopped the lunches. I mean, I don't think I'm ready to get people back together at this point. So I think that companies, we were moving in the right direction for a short period of time. And I think that we're going to have to sort of stay doing what we have been doing. Bill asked, when this meeting is back in person, will it also be on Zoom? Yes, we will continue to do Zoom meetings and live productions at the same time. I've been looking at some software so we can do it so that you can be part of what we're doing. So yes, we will continue to broadcast. We will continue from now to eternity Zoom meetings on Fridays, in addition to the live meeting when we can get back to that.
I think uncertainty delays everything except a drop in the stock market. So companies have to plan and prepare for some period of time in advance to say, how are we going to handle things under these possible conditions? You just can't change it overnight. So that's happening. And I'll bet you that there could be an easy time. We'll delay something in January. It all depends, but you can tell, man, everything was looking great. And then all of a sudden it's kind of go back. And so I'll bet you hiring will change its strategy. All kind of business operations are going to change their strategy some. They took a long time to make decisions to hire when everything was great anyway. So it's hadn't changed a whole lot for the candidates, right?
Except we all now should be good at Zoom meetings, Zoom interviewing online. I mean, we should all be really good at that now because hopefully we've practiced, hopefully we've prepared, we've got our act together. And, you know, I think what Brian's saying as far as getting out and networking, I think, you know, nurture these times, you know, get out and reach back out to people you've talked to in the past. What, 70 to 80% of jobs are found through networking. Who do you know in a company who can get your name to the right place? And, you know, what Bill talked about earlier, or, you know, what talked about earlier as far as informational interviewing. You know, I was in this one field and I wanted to consider getting into a different field. Going and asking questions of people. You ask for advice and their opinions, advice and comment. Who else do you recommend I talk to? And, you know, you can put a big map up on your wall and you go, well, here's connection A to connection B to connection C to connection C, D, E, F. I remember I took a job once when I was moving from Louisville, Kentucky to Rochester, New York, and it was my 7th connection where I landed the job at. So I talked to A to B to C to D to E to F to G, and G is the one where I landed the job at. So, you know, that's the way to do it. I mean, that's, you know, get out and network.
You're right, Jeff. Jobs are found really in the 4th, 5th, 6th range of who knows who to find that. So that's right in there with the statistics. I also think we ought to really emphasize our video appearance and the video interviewing. Why? One is you gotta pass that hurdle for the interview itself. But a lot more jobs now are going to have a lot of Zoom meetings or some type of online meetings with customers, vendors, everything. And so your appearance and how you handle yourself to the video is going to also be a part of your job. So it would be very, very important for you to practice that. Mark offers the one-way video. I offer the one-way video. Be excellent to do. I'd love to see everybody showing their backgrounds and showing their smiling faces, getting some feedback from others on what their background looks like and all that sort of thing, so that we can really improve ourselves that way.
Looking in the camera, right, Walt?
Oh yeah, I got to remember to do that too. I mean, I say it 20 times a day, but I only practiced it 2 times a day. So I got to get better on that.
And smile.
I have my little smiley face, and when I'm doing, you know, it's sitting right here by my camera and it looks right over the little camera hole. That way I remember where I'm supposed to look at. So if you want some smiley faces, let me know. I'll send you the document that I have. If I remember, I'll attach it to the email this afternoon.
Hey, Jeff and Walt and Mark. So this is Miguel again. It is true, even though I landed my job not through necessarily the networking piece. Networking, I've expanded my network tremendously. This is my first time in transition. You know, now I learned that you need to keep a network and nourish it and grow it, even if you are, and more importantly, even when you are, you know, employed. And I do have my smiley face for all the interviews I had. The other thing is I just included in the chat box the information on this first Friday, synopsis, group of Randy, and you just have to go to the link that's there, and he has several options. There are some where you actually get more information and you do have to pay, but the center one in the website is the one that you want to do if you want to go to the or join the first Friday of the month kind of a summary, the book summary. And you will be getting an email every month with the information and the synopsis of the 2 books that he's going to be discussing that month.
Great, Miguel. Thank you very much. Yeah, it really is pretty good. I mean, the business books are great, and it's a great little overview. And he's been doing this for like 15 years, 17 years. I mean, it's been a long, long time. And you talk about a great opportunity to network with other people. Back when it was in person, I mean, the breakfast was like $30 or whatever, but it was an excellent networking opportunity because there was people from all over the city in all different fields, all different careers that were there. So it was a great opportunity just to go and expand. It was a great networking opportunity. Hopefully we can meet again in person.
As was the Friday lunch until this guy shut it down. Shut down my networking opportunity. The man trying to hold me back.
You know, I just can't afford. I just can't afford to get sick. I don't want to get it. You know, I mean, I've been vaccinated, but I don't want to get it. So, you know,
just drink Clorox. I heard that works.
Yeah, all right, let's not get into that. Okay.
I know it's not political.
What else? What else can we answer for somebody? Question somebody has about their job search.
Hey, Dion, you can put into on LinkedIn or on Indeed, type in government jobs, and it should pull up government jobs that way as well.
Okay, yeah, I did it with LinkedIn. But appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Anything else? Oh yeah, question here. Thank you, Bill. Let's see here. I have a question about recruiters. Do others here get contacted often by national recruiters for national roles? Brian's shaking his head yes.
Yes. Korn Ferry is they're one of the biggest, but they're also, I would tell you, one of the most unorganized. I've been contacted by 3 recruiters for the same job, 3 different office locations too. So, and they don't put notes on your account, like on your account type thing, like a call center would if you were a bottled water customer for Ozarka that says he's not interested in this job. So you would just, once they get it, your information, they just, you know, they're not a retained, they're not a typical like Kurt is a retained search expert by a company. They are I don't know, I'm very unimpressed so far.
I had the same experience with Korn Ferry, Brian, exactly like you did.
Underwhelmed. That's what it is. I'm underwhelmed by them.
You know, they're spending all their money on golf tournaments instead of their IT system.
I think they have the same slogan that Choctaw Casino has: exclusively for everyone.
Anybody else? I mean, let's see here. So Bill, were you talking about Korn Ferry or are you talking about somebody else? Oh, many. Bill's saying many different other national groups. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of recruiting for a lot of national ones, either they're not even based here in the United States, they're overseas. They're, you know, they just find a job and then they start calling people to see if they can find a candidate to submit and try to get your name in. So yeah, you got to be careful. There's one of the presentations that Mark and Walt did. In fact, we just talked about recruiters yesterday or Wednesday. So, you know, the different kinds of recruiters. So if you're not sure about the different kinds of recruiters and how to talk with them and how to questions to ask them, things you should know, go back and look at the webinar that we did this past Wednesday, because we'll talk Mark and Walt talk about recruiters and the different types of recruiters and how to ask them questions to sort of quantify or qualify who they are. So that'll be on the Career USA YouTube channel. Look under interviewing and it'll be the most recent one.
Does anybody have any suggestions? If you have a Yahoo email account and you've been sent a Predictive Index link and it won't come through your email and it's not in your spam, is there anything I can do to get that through without having to go set up a Gmail account and have it sent to me that way? Has anybody I've never had a problem getting assessments sent to me before through the systems.
Well, if it went to your spam folder, you can mark it not spam, and then it should pop into your regular folder.
It didn't go to my spam folder. Do I?
Oh, you're not even getting it. They're getting a reject. You know, I had that happen with a document I had to send out this week to somebody, and Yahoo blocked it. And Yeah, I mean, do you not have another email account?
I don't know.
Have
That's,
them, can they send it to you through your LinkedIn account?
oh, okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, try that. Let them know that, yeah. So obviously you don't even know they sent it to you because it just bounced back from them. So, yeah,
He told me, he said, go check your spam account. And when I said it wasn't there, he said Yahoo will block things like this from a system, but send it through the LinkedIn account.
right.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yes, it's I had that happen this week and I was very interested. First time I've had something like that happen, but I don't know, maybe Yahoo's cracking down a little bit more, being a little bit more diligent on stuff.
Well, just an FYI for those of us that are of a certain age, and I won't say what that age is, when you go through the ARC, how to find a career after X plus, the very first thing they tell you to do is not to have a Yahoo account because it dates you that you should change to Gmail. So I'm probably the last holdout on the planet. Thank you.
Yeah, if you have an AOL account or a Juno account or an Earthlink account, I mean, you know, Rocket Mail's okay, Gmail's okay, Outlook's okay. What's the Apple account? Is that Outlook, I think? No. I forget what
Yeah,
the
me.
Apple people,
Is it me?
was it me.com? Maybe, yeah.
It was.
You might try a Dropbox process.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else from anybody?
Yeah,
Oh,
on that
iCloud,
note,
that's it, iCloud.com, right?
oh yeah, that jumpstart for the South Lake Focus Group. When all the new people coming through go to that first, one of the things they tell you is if you have a Yahoo or AOL, change to Gmail or one of the other newer providers before you start applying, because it will date you.
Right. None of us look like we're over 29.
Hey, I don't hold all the youthful people. I don't hold that youth against them.
Zoom has an age filter.
I
Makes you look
still
younger.
look bad though.
It makes you look younger. It just fuzzes you up.
I'm having
Anything
a lot of,
else from anybody?
yeah, I'm
Before
having
we,
a lot of trouble getting support for my Lotus 123 application.
yeah, I heard somebody the other day say something about Lotus Notes, and I'm going, boy, you just dated yourself by putting Lotus Notes on your resume. It was like, oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think we're going to stop here for the day. Let me finish sharing a few last slides and we'll move on. Next Friday, our speaker will be Mike Ray and Kip Lipson. They're going to talk about how to use reference USA or how to use reference solutions to find target companies. So please join us. Always a very interesting presentation. If you have not put your 30-second introductions into the chat window, please do so. For those people on Facebook, if you put them in the comment field, I'll be sure to delete that information. And that's how I'll count who's here today. So please put your information in if you haven't done so yet. All right, Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week now. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, if you're a woman and you'd like to join the Women of Wisdom group, you need to send an email to womenofwisdom@careerdfw.org, and they'll send you an invitation if you're not already on their mailing list. It is by invitation only because they're trying to keep the group down to 20 or 25 people. There is a lot of discussion that goes on, so please, if you'd like to join them at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Next Tuesday for LinkedIn Tuesdays, LinkedIn from a Recruiter's Eye with Kurt Vondermatter. Kurt is a retained search consultant, and he's going to show us what he spends $20,000 a year on from the back end of the full-blown LinkedIn recruiting package. Next Wednesday, we'll be on session number 2, preparing for a specific interview, limited time interviews, and networking. Next Thursday, it's the second Thursday of the month, so we'll be talking about networking. Sonia Lowry will be with us. She's with Lee Heck Harrison. Her topic is going to be a secret weapon to simplify your networking efforts. And that secret method, if you'd like to know what it is, I'll be very quiet here. It is bios and marketing plans. So that's what her secret weapon is. Join us on Thursday for that. It'll be a very good, interesting presentation. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career FW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. So if you go to the Career USA YouTube channel, click on playlist. We mentioned before, click on that interviewing tab. You'll see right there where it says interviewing. Don't click on the video, but click down where it says view full playlist. And then what will come up is a list of all the different topics in each, all the different topics in that particular section. So the newest one, if you don't have the newest one on top, click the little sort button and you'll be able to see those. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Everybody have a great weekend and we'll see you next week.
Can you stand a joke?
Okay, well, here, let me stop the recording first. Hold on.
If it's a good one.